Us on the Monday edition of Journalist Hangout, I'm Ayodele Uzubakun. It's about 4 days to the conduct of the 2023 general election. So how ready are you to vote in the elections? Today on the program, President Buhari addresses Nigerians again, urges citizens to vote for Tinubu, describes him as reliable and trustworthy. APC National Chairman Adamu, party's National Working Committee back governors, asked President Buhari to respect Supreme Court order on Naira swap deadline, as Atiku tells CBN its policies are hurting ordinary Nigerians. And later on the show, we'll take a look at how the general election will be fought and won in Abia, Nasarawa, and Sokoto states on the Pundits Corner segment. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Thank you for staying with us. I have in-house the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade Otitoji, and Osiare GKB.
Always a pleasure to be here.
All right. As Nigerians continue to grapple with the hardship brought by scarcity of Naira notes, President Muhammadu Buhari has again appealed to Nigerians to exercise more patience. President Buhari said he is aware of the hardship, but the policy is meant to improve Nigeria's economy. The president urged them to vote for the APC standard bearer, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom is described as reliable and trustworthy. This is coming some days to the election, and why insinuation, a lot of people are insinuating that, look, all is not well with the All Progressive Congress and with the APC, yeah, and the president has again supported and maintained his stance as supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes, I think the point that the president is, because at least I watched it.
As a
I
party
hope we can listen to it at some point. He spoke like somebody who supports the aspiration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He wants it to be on record that he spoke publicly about his desire to see Tinubu win this contest.
Outside the country?
Because he was not speaking to, he was speaking to Nigerians in general, because he talked about the problems we are going through, and then used the opportunity to say, look, we are going to do our best to ensure that these pains are mitigated. And then he used the opportunity to talk about the candidate of the APC, describing him as trustworthy, reliable, and that is sure that he will be a good president. This is not the first time he's saying that. There was an occasion when he described Asiwaju, when he said Nigeria was lucky that Asiwaju was in the race.
But some people will say that the body language and the action of Mr. President cannot be weighed with what he sees.
Shakespeare said there is no art by which you can measure the mind's intentions by simply looking at someone's face. So that works both ways. That is subject to dual interpretation. It can be interpreted to mean, oh, people are just misunderstanding him. He wants Asiwaju to win. Frankly, introducing this kind of policy and the shitty manner it has been implemented can only work against the APC. Can only work against, and that is why we've seen people who used to curse us and accuse us of being Buhari supporters. Today, because they've seen that it looks like, oh, this man has boxed his party into a corner, they are all now Buharis.
Yes.
The real Buharis, they are too ashamed to talk on social media now. they've had their lips buttoned up by an embarrassing and shambolic implementation of a so-called Naira repainting that they've called Naira redesign. So the real Buharis, they are ashamed of themselves where they are. They can't talk publicly. It is the people,
Latter days convert.
yes, they are the ones who are having a field day now on social media, and the real Buharists, they are the ones who are wailing endlessly because they know that this thing is what will bring this party down. So there's no way, and even on the streets of Kano and other places, in those places where Asiwaju is really popular, you need to listen to radio programs, see the way they are talking about this president. Because, look, there's no self-destruct button that can be worse than this. So close to an election that you want your party to win, you've introduced a policy that by its implementation has inflicted or mitigated. I don't think there has been any program that has brought pain on Nigerians like this.
Impacting on people directly.
Negatively, not just impacting, negatively, badly negatively impacting on our people. Today, there are some staff of TVC who could not come to work. Because they can't raise even 200 Naira to get into a bus. There are some that got into a bus, got here, they don't have money to go back. Is that bad? Yet, we have hypocrites who have dotted our landscape saying that they stand by the most incompetent central bank governor in Nigerian history. How do you stand by a man that we have not seen evidence of his competence at the job that has been given? So now the president, many people are not impressed with what the president has done. They think it's too late in the day.
Yes.
There are places where the APC was leading by an audacious margin in terms of constant polling that politicians are doing. Because if you are a good politician, you are focused on victory, you have to do your own polling. You have to do your own polling. Now, the gap has been narrowed. Today, in some of those places, it's looking like too close to call because of this suffering that has been inflicted on our people.
And a lot of undecided voters. They just decided.
No, undecided voters, it's easy for them to say, I know, given what is going on. So the president must, in the inner recesses of his heart, ask himself pertinent questions. That if in 2019, this was the condition precedent before elections were held, will he be re-elected?
I make bold to say that this one is even more excruciating than the removal of subsidy.
I said when they compare this to, Shebi the other day, ASU was on strike. There are people who do not give a damn about ASU. They don't care about Western education. Their children don't go to school. But I've not seen an individual who will not spend money.
Naira.
You may be unconcerned about ASU because you don't have children who are in school. Maybe your children, they've left school, they've outgrown tertiary education. But you must spend money. Won't you spend money? How will you eat if you do not spend money?
Everybody.
Even in the biblical days, they had currency. They had currency. So what are we talking about? Everyone is affected by the need to spend money. I was speaking with my boss, and he said, Jide, there's 1,000 Naira note is being with me. I refuse to spend it. Big man.
1,000 Naira note.
He's just keeping it
Emergency.
like a war trophy.
Yes.
He's keeping it like a war trophy.
Yes. People are entering the public transport 200 Naira now, and the conductor is now with POS, but no old notes.
Except for 200 Naira. These are still collecting.
Yeah, 200 Naira.
I think the problem is that of perception. And I don't think the party
How many
has
buses are you going to enter with POS? That you see POS?
I don't understand.
How many? All those boys not wearing those dirty boys. How many of them have POS?
How many of the passengers will do transfer to the conductor? Before you get to your bus stop, the conductor will
don't know how
transfer.
This problem.
It seems that we are
Transfer that may not go.
Yeah, or we will not confirm the alert before you get down your own bus stop.
Somebody was eating today. They told him he continued to eat. They said, we are waiting. This thing has not entered. He didn't know whether to regurgitate what he had eaten.
There was a joke I wanted to write that I stopped about somebody wanting to go to the public toilet who is very pressed. And then they give him a POS to put his card while he was doing this. Imagine somebody trying to use the public toilet who was so very pressed.
Waste their time.
And so he's like, what do I do now? He said, it's not going through. Is he going to wet himself? I think the president has burnt bridges unnecessarily. And that to me is sad. Because we all know that for the last 7.5 years, he has tried, even to the point of being called Baba Go Slow, not to take decisions that will appear to reinforce the image he had before becoming a civilian president. He tried very hard sometimes not to do things that will even appear that the old Buhari is back. Imagine trying to manage your image for 7.5 years and then doing a policy that will undo all that in one fell swoop.
Nobody's talking about.
And nobody now, people are reminding themselves.
Nobody's talking about railway.
Newspaper cuttings of 1984 showing the same thing 30 years later.
Somebody sent me.
Daily Times cut.
Somebody sent me Colintia in last song.
In 84.
Where he was saying to Buhari bring out money. We are hungry. There's no money.
There's a Daily Times cover page that somebody sent to me that reflected the fact that banks are hoarding money. 1984. That means the same Buhari that decided that this is the best way to run an economy in 84 is now back at the tail end of something.
Changing our currency. He was the last person that changed it in 1984.
No, there is a
change currency.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
We won't change currency.
After 1984.
But not really this painful.
Just change it. Even they introduce new currency. Notes. Don't forget
there was a time we want to do 5,000.
See, there was a time that they introduced polymer notes.
Yeah, for 20
and side by side with the polymer notes, the usual paper money was being used. So it is not even true that it's Buhari. They introduced polymer notes of 50 naira,
20 naira.
And 20 naira, and along with it, we were
the old notes were
using the old notes.
That
is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go together.
Frame, yeah. Because whoever decided to give a time frame is not a friend of the president.
And whoever told the president about vote buying, that it will couple vote buying. Because the president reflected
that. No, it will have been easier for the president.
It even looks now like that is their main agenda. Because I've had economists say, look, there's no economic value to this thing.
None.
They talk about inflation. This one will worsen inflation.
Worsen it.
Because
you are buying.
You are buying the currency.
You are buying your money.
You are buying Naira.
So if you are buying at 10%, you know how much you got.
If you are a trader, for example, you are a business person, won't you pass the burden to the consumer? So how will this help inflation? I don't know the people come up with these lies, as if the rest of us have our heads scrambled. How can they help inflation when this thing is driving up the prices of everything, virtually everything?
Because you are buying your own money.
You are buying currency.
If you have 100 naira, what you have actually is 70 naira.
So how can it help inflation?
Because you are using 30
how can
naira
it reduce inflation? Outright lies. It cannot also not reduce. Till today, there are still kidnapping people. In all those dangerous areas, they are still kidnapping people. Those guys are not interested. For them, they can ask you for dollars. If you can't find dollars, they will tell you, go and print the new notes. If you truly love your person that is there, whatever they told you to do, you are going to do it.
That's why I'm very happy that the
So this is not the solution to insecurity. It's not by changing currency.
It's not even a solution to vote buying. Because what stops the person from now using other currencies? You must use dollars. He wants to buy anything.
Okay. The National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and the governors elected on the party's platform have called on President Muhammadu Buhari to obey the Supreme Court's interim injunction on the Naira swap deadline. They said the policy and its implementation are causing hardship for citizens and the economy. The national chairman of the APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, urged the president to intervene in resolving the issues. Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar, has had a rethink on his previous position on the Naira redesign issue. He stated that the policy is hurting Nigerians, but therefore we go. Now, let's hear from what Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna said about the policy.
How can the Central Bank of Nigeria collect 2.1 trillion from citizens and print only 400 billion? Is this not a clear case of economic sabotage? It is bad economics to so curtail economic activity and the velocity of circulation of money. It is also insensitive to deliberately cause cash shortage and then seek to instigate the public against the mostly innocent commercial banks. Even the most honest and prudent action by banks cannot magically make 400 billion to look like 2.1 trillion or have the same spread and availability like the central bank should have ensured. As a regulator, the Central Bank of Nigeria should not be seen to be setting up the banking sector as the public enemy to cover up the glaring failure in its design and implementation of the so-called cash swap policy.
Wow, let's start from Senator Adamu Abdullahi, the APC governors. They met yesterday at the Secretariat with the NWC, met with, and the presidential candidate was there. And for the party to take a position, say, Mr. President.
And, you know, it's in the interest of APC to do what they have done, because the party is by its own, by the poor judgment of the federal government, the party risks losing this election. That is a fact. It's a close race. It's a close race. And in a close race, every issue counts. Insecurity, poverty, all kinds of people will decide. People will decide based
on the campaign point now that
different variables.
You want to continue in this poverty. You want to continue
in this cluelessness. People, all kinds of things.
Yes, that's the talking point.
So now the party has to find a way, because nobody can be bigger than the party. Even if you are a president, you can't be bigger than the party. By being president, you are deemed the leader of the party, but it doesn't make you. You are deemed leader of the party, but it doesn't make you the owner of the party.
And not the monarchy.
I mean, this is a democracy. People like Dati, the deputy governor candidate of Labour, saying that because a governor chose to respect the directive of the Supreme Court, that he has committed treason. What kind of shambolic thinking is this? That a Supreme Court order, a governor chose to obey it rather than obey the president. You are calling that treason, and you think you are making sense.
Somebody said it on TV yesterday that a lawyer said it on TV that the federal government can choose not to obey the Supreme Court. And it has happened in the US, it has happened in Australia, it has happened in Britain. That the federal government, in the matter of national security or some other matter,
this national security matter,
or can
are we on that track?
Not to obey the Supreme Court of the land.
Once
the lawyer speaking like that too.
No, Shebi, there was one that abused you. He accused you because we debated a matter that we now, that by the grace of God, we were vindicated by the upper court, the superior court. He was abusing you, accusing you of taking money because we spoke the truth. There are all kinds of Nigerians. There are some people who do not see beyond their nose. Once it has to do with their interest, they will twist. And that's why, Charles Dickens, that said lawyers are trained to call black white. It's people like this who give Philip to that notion that lawyers are indeed paid to call black white according as they are paid. that based on the size of the money, a lawyer can choose to lie. This is not, it makes no sense. But the best lawyers in our land, we've seen what they have said. And Ozekome is now a professor of law. The most underrated, most brilliant lawyers around. We heard what he said.
Very brilliant.
So it's not every lawyer that is privileged to go into a TV studio that I take seriously. Some of them don't know their left from their right. Even what a layman will not argue. You see a lawyer who wants to be described as a learned person, pushing the argument. Yeah. Is it not in this country that something happened in Anambra and a lawyer took the matter to bring in Kudu?
Yeah. To get an injunction.
In Jigawa? So lawyers who deliberately do what is wrong because the NJC permits them to do all kinds of nonsense. If not because the former CJN in the matter of Ondo State, if not because he decided to deal with a lawyer. You saw how they were postponing the matter, bringing frivolous motions and all that, just so that the case will not go forward. Let's leave the issue of lawyers. I don't blame them. If the president had not behaved the way he behaved, will a lawyer be saying that even in the U.S.? Oh, that means in the U.S., why should Trump respect the Constitution? Is the president, then he could have done, do you know how many times Trump lost in court? Why did he obey? People, you see, the thing is, when we argue about things that have to do with common sense, people will go, they look for the most negative examples in foreign lands. That is what they bring. That's why we are where we are. Because the things that we are supposed to copy,
we ignore.
The finer things about those countries that make them the great countries that they are. You look at Norway.
We're looking for loose examples.
You look at Norway.
With their sovereign wealth
funds. You know, their sovereign wealth funds. See how big it is. All our money we just spend. We don't copy the right things about those countries. And some of us go there. That's why we are stunted where we are. And people who sit on TV and simply lie in a manner that enables the suffering of the common man to continue. What they are doing is simply oiling the shackles of our people. You have shackles, you have manacles in your leg. An individual goes there and puts engine oil.
You know that
so that you will not feel it, but the shackles remain. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense that the president can do what he likes. Even Obasanjo, you know how many times Obasanjo was losing in court? And he obeyed. Why would we have people who encourage a president who is not above the law by the letters of the Constitution to disobey the law?
Even they went further to even tell the Supreme Court ahead of Wednesday's hearing that the Supreme Court should not be stampeded. That's whatever they do, you know, like trying to preempt without final courts.
What people don't understand, which makes me very sad, is that there are families that will never recover from this tragedy.
Yes.
Families who are even leaning towards the position that they are taking, that will never recover. I know families who have to sell everything they had to raise money to feed himself and feed his family. Don't be surprised if we hear a case of suicide, if something is not done by Wednesday to alleviate this matter. And I'm not talking about the poor people, I'm talking about middle class people.
The unrest, there's the kind of unrest all over the country now. They are burning banks, they are burning financial.
The danger of what the president has done is double-fold. One is that he has created a state of anarchy when it comes to obeying court orders. Because the governors will now, by the virtue of obeying court orders, reinforce the federality of our country. Because you are asking people in executive positions to choose which court orders to obey. And we may think because now it's political.
That's not setting the right example.
And then we think because it's political now, because some people think they will get advantage.
Yes, now.
Something will happen later, because whatever goes round, comes round.
No, look at Atiku, for example.
Yeah.
Atiku is back now.
No, yes, we'll talk about
Talking about
we'll talk about when we come. We'll take this break. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out.
My name is Kashim Shetima. I'm an agricultural economist by training, a banker by profession, and now a public servant by calling. I was the governor of Borno State for 8 years. In the heat of the Boko Haram, we set up an agricultural transformation committee. We crisscrossed the world and invested in the whole agricultural value chain. Lagos is the smallest state in Nigeria in terms of landmass, 3,577 square kilometers. But the largest rice mill in Africa and the third largest in the world is located in Imota in Lagos. That is the power of ideas. Bola Tinubu is an idea whose time has come. Let us vote for Bola Tinubu to be the president of Nigeria come 25th of February. God bless Nigeria.
When I was younger, I got asked a question by a friend. What is the ultimate dream in life? You see, in my several decades on Earth, I have seen trends come and go.
Nigeria needs focused leadership to take decisive action to end insecurity, reposition our economy for businesses to thrive, and restore total peace in the land. Tinubu is the right man for the job. Through innovation and technology, he will reposition Nigeria for businesses to thrive. Nigeria will export more and import less. Tinubu will reposition the agricultural sector for food security and improve farmers' welfare. Electricity will be reformed for a brighter Nigeria. Health, education, and housing will be more accessible and affordable. Nigeria will be transformed into an entertainment powerhouse, a home of sporting achievement, and a renowned tourist destination. Tinubu's government will build a Nigeria where we prosper together. He has done it before, and he will do it again for Nigeria.
For Renewed Hope 2023, vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Kashim Shettima as President and Vice President of Nigeria. Vote APC.
Great people of Lagos State, it's election time. It's time to consider the education sector and the tremendous transformation recorded in the past 3 years, ranging from erection of over 1,000 new classrooms in less than 4 years, introduction of CBT entrance examination and results checking in government schools, job provision through recruitment of over 6,000 teachers, introduction of a co-excel digital learning initiative to enhance teaching in the 21st century, incentives for teachers, introduction of new scheme of work, prioritizing co-curricular activities in school, partnership and collaboration to boost education. All these have led to improvement in WAEC results with about 80% performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just taking you through the achievements and successes of the Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu administration. And you've seen that Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu has actually touched the whole value chain of education. The learning outcomes are excellent in all areas. So, therefore, I invite you to vote our Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu for his second term. I also invite...
This message is brought to you by Honorable Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, Honorable Commissioner for Education, Lagos State.
Hello guys, do you know that in his Renewed Hope 2023 action plan, Bola Tinubu promised to fix our national security by implementing these common sense measures? The Bola Tinubu administration will increase the number of military and security personnel on active duty across the country, introduce modern doctrines and practices to better engage and defeat terrorists, kidnappers and bandits, upgrade weapon systems and introduce greater domestic production of munitions, introduce new border, forest and community security forces specializing in the protection of remote areas and variable terrain, reposition the police institution to focus on its primary duties of community policing and maintaining law and order, improve salaries and welfare for the families of our fallen heroes. This is the turn Lagos from a dangerous, often scary place where crime was the norm into a relatively safe and crime-free place it is today. He has the ideas, he has the track record. Vote APC for a safer and more secure Nigeria. This message is powered by the APC PCC Youth Directorate. Hello guys, have you checked out the Renewed Hope 2023 action plan to see what Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has for Nigeria's digital economy? When elected, the Jagaban administration will implement innovative policies to support local funding opportunities and access to capital for startups. It will support development of the private sector in e-commerce, tech manufacturing and ICT-enabled outsourcing. It will implement government digital services to improve government efficiency and create new jobs. It will encourage further use of blockchain technology in finance and banking. The Jagaban administration will achieve delivery of 90% broadband services by 2025. Ashiwaju of the Oracle system at the cutting edge of the digital revolution. Vote APC to build the Nigeria of tomorrow today. This message is powered by the APC PCC Youth Directorate.
Thank you for staying with us. Julie, the former vice president, when this policy started, and he was part of the people that I stand with the president, I stand with Emefiele, and he said, look, it's good. Days down the line, how will a leader afford to be this inconsistent?
He has taken position 3 times. The first time, he complained. When he saw that this thing was hurting the APC, he changed his position. You know, initially we thought, oh, he was sympathetic to the people. But he was one of those who said, no, that deadline don't extend. That was the second one, if we check. So Atiku has had 3 positions. In just a matter of a few weeks, 3 positions. A principled man would take a position and come rain, come shine, will stand by that position. Whether that position is in the realm of the minority or not. In human history, there is sufficient evidence that the majority is not always right.
Sometimes we call it tyranny of the majority.
The 2 greatest human beings the world has seen, Jesus Christ and Muhammad, when they were alive, they were persecuted. Yes. People didn't like them.
Kill him.
Kill them. That was what we were doing. But Jesus Christ was crucified. Muhammad had to embark on Hijrah. He fled. They persecuted his followers. Today, they are the 2 most popular human beings to ever live on the face of the earth.
Most influential, yeah.
2. You will never find
the most influential.
They have more followers than Twitter than everybody on Twitter combined.
What does Twitter got to do with this?
Yes, they have more followers. Those 2 gentlemen have more followers than the followers of Twitter combined. Yet, when they were alive, the majority of the people didn't like them. They hated them. Majority is not always right. But there are people who always do things just to make the majority happy. No.
Playing to the gallery.
Yes, playing to the gallery. Let me not analyze this issue. If I analyze this issue in this way, won't the people turn against me?
Looking at the gains for every other political gains.
No, Mr.
So the thing now, all of those spokespersons of Atiku Abubakar, who never for one day sympathize with our suffering people. Instead, they were posting rubbish about people stashing money, this and that, is because they stash money. And some of them, to show you that even, many things have been exposed to me during this period. It is the fact that a lot of the so-called activists, they have no scruples. You see an activist who took this position against Emefiele. Suddenly, he has changed the position. It is talking about, they stash money somewhere. He has not seen anybody who stash money.
He has been rogered.
If you see the crowd in front of CBN, in Benin, in Marina here, you will know that it is a time bomb to allow such people's money to be wasted.
I'm telling you.
People have to think that what will happen if all of these people lose their money. Do these people even understand what they are going into? Look at the crowd. All of that money. So when they are talking about more than 400 billion still in people's hands, it is not politicians alone. They should stop deceiving themselves. A lot of these people in the villages where there are no banks and the rest, They still have their cash. They don't know where to go. A lot of them. Look at the one who was carrying 2 big bags. Is he a politician? Even if it's not their culture in those areas, you expect them to put their money in their houses. By the time this whole thing is over, we will have damaged our economy badly. The same way, that was what happened to India. For 2 years, India didn't recover from it, but they will not tell you. They will say, oh, India did it. Tell us the full story about what happened in India. Our economy will have suffered irreparably. Then, many people will have lost faith in the banks. Governor Nasiru El-Rufai was saying that, oh, the banks have been made the scapegoats. Let me tell you, the run that will be on the banks, once this situation normalizes, people will go take their money. They will not
go back.
Honestly, except you decide
because
to be changing
they won't want this thing to happen
every
again.
2 years.
They won't want this thing to happen again. That I will go and put my money somewhere and I cannot take my money back.
You know, what's even
the banks will suffer.
It's not possible.
What's even
It's not possible.
Even me, I will go and take my money.
I don't want to mention the name of the bank, but they've shown me Pepe.
No, there are some banks that their names are last and they will remain last.
This period.
No, what is really irritating is this. I don't know whether they live outside the Nigerian bubble when people talk on television. And you wonder, do these people have families? You have brothers and sisters who are going through
this.
But
it doesn't show consistency
in the part of Atiku. No, Atiku is a serial shifter. From day one. From not contesting against Obasanjo to contesting against Obasanjo. From fighting Obasanjo to contesting on ACN. From ACN back to PDP. PDP to APC. APC back to PDP. PDP to Dubai. Dubai back to PDP.
Yeah,
he has never become, no, he changes position.
Even
the chameleon. You want me to go back and 2007 he went to ACN. He lost, he went back to PDP.
He couldn't have remained in PDP.
When APC was formed, he contested here at Onikon against Buhari. When he lost, he went back to PDP.
No, he didn't go back.
Well, he went back. Is he not contested on PDP?
2015 election.
That's what I said. He was APC.
It was for 2019 that he now goes.
Then in 2015, he contested against Buhari.
So that
for the primary at Onikon.
The way he...
So that's the way he is. In fact, the surprise to me would be for Atiku to be consistent when it comes to political choices. He goes wherever the wind blows. It's not peculiar. We know this a long time. So, it takes only one person to remain consistent in one line. That's part all.
Yes, but
Bola Tinubu was the first person that just spoke out against this thing, and really spoke out. And since that time, it has
and it's working. The thing has worked for him.
Yeah.
Because in the north now, and many parts of Nigeria, people now see this as something created to punish him, to make sure he doesn't win.
Yeah.
That's why in the north, they are singing Koda Kudi, Koba Kudi, Tinubu Zamuzaba. They are singing it. I saw women, meaning that whether there is money or there is no money, we'll vote for this man. You know, because Nasiru said, see, don't worry, keep your money. If the new administration comes, this policy will be stopped.
Koda Kudi.
Koda Kudi, Koba Kudi. Tinubu Zamuzaba. It's Tinubu that we will vote for, whether there is money or there is no money. I was sent you a video of women singing the song. It's already going. They even held a rally to say, look, whether there is money or there is no money, we are for this man. Because you see, Nigerians don't like it when it appears that you victimize someone. Our people stand by those victimized.
Yeah.
He's now looking. He has played the victim's role sufficiently. People speaking too much. People can get the message. Why would you introduce this kind of policy at this time? And you are refusing to bend in a manner that will make our people not suffer. You are refusing to bend. How can anybody say no, but you don't bring your money into the banks? How will they change it? And you said nobody will lose his money.
All right, we have to leave it there. Now, to our pundit segment. Now, where we dissect how the 2023 elections will be fought and won.
Nigerians, my name is Kashim Shettima. I'm the APC vice presidential candidate. According to Korn Ferry, a global consulting firm, by 2030, there will be a global talent deficit of 85 million. Because of our youthful population, our geographic location, and our proficiency in English, Nigeria stands a unique chance of becoming the global talent factory. The building behind us is the Secretariat for the Implementation of the Startup Act. It's the Digital Innovation and Entrepreneurship Center. Of the 7 unicorns in Africa, 5 are in Nigeria, all in Lagos. It wasn't a coincidence, neither was it an accident. It wasn't magic. It is called leadership. It is the Tinubu effect. Vote wisely, vote Bola Tinubu for the president of Nigeria. God bless us all.
My brother, my sister, do you know that winning an election is not only about getting the majority vote? For that your candidate to be declared winner of the election, he or she must secure 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all states plus the FCT to be president, and 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all local governments of a state to be governor. This is constitutional, and every presidential candidate has had to pass this threshold. Even governors have had to make this mark to get elected in their states. We live in one country with different languages, religions, and ethnic groups. This is why it is not enough to have only northern votes, or southern votes, or eastern votes, or western votes. The only way to get elected as president or governor is by gaining enough support across the country and states. Let us make sure that we know now so that we don't cause an issue tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO.
So the first thing we had to do, and Mr. President was able to achieve very successfully, was an outreach to the most important and most powerful countries of the world and change their perception of Nigeria and the narrative with respect to Nigeria. He achieved that very impressively, and the US completely changed, refused to supply arms to Nigeria. Under Mr. President, they started to supply arms. So one very clear deliverable was the supply of Super Tucano planes, for instance, because the US Congress refused to do so. That was a huge achievement, and negotiations after that to supply even helicopters and others. So we have the most powerful country in the world with us in our fight against terror.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
A day to remember in the history of our dear country, Nigeria. 9 wise men from the north who are governors came together on June 8th, 2022 to stand for equity and fairness in the interest of our nation, Nigeria. They buried personal interest for the unity of our country. They supported the call that power must shift to the south in 2023. They chose a Nigeria agenda. We salute our brothers and sisters in the northern part of this country who, in spite of their vote advantage, continue to propagate the unity of Nigeria by promoting rotational presidency between the north and southern part of the country. Let voters in the north follow the move by these leaders. Vote for power shift to the south. It's the turn of the south to produce the president in 2023. Let's vote Bola Tinubu for president for a renewed hope of better Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
At the multilateral level also, we're able to get the United Nations on board. And if you recall, at that time, the attention of the world was focused more on Syria and Iraq, with Al-Qaeda, with IS, Islamic State. And so we were able, through rigorous engagement and outreach, Nigerian diplomacy, to get the Boko Haram front and center of the agenda, of the global agenda, and the fight against terror. So at the UN, we're able to get Islamic State of West Africa. Nigerian diplomacy, through Mr. President, was able to now isolate, in that sense, Boko Haram.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
4 days, 14 hours, 11 minutes, and 22 seconds to the next presidential election. That's 2023 presidential election. On the Pundit Corner today, we are beaming our searchlight on Abia State in the southeast and Nasarawa State in the north central. Today, let's go to Abia directly.
Abia remains a PDP state. PDP is still the most dominant party in Abia State, and there are some interesting contests in the National Assembly for the National Assembly positions. Abia South, Abaribe, the outspoken senator, is contesting against the governor, incumbent governor, Dokeze Biazu.
Of the senatorial ticket?
Yes, both of them. Abaribe has been at home now for months. You know, just
under Abga?
Yes, under Abga.
Yes.
The governor is in PDP. It looks like a 50-50 race now, but Abaribe has an edge. Abaribe has an edge. I won't be surprised if Abaribe wins it. As for Abia North, it's another interesting contest between Oji Uzokalu and Mao Onhuaboa. That was the man that he dislodged. That was the man that he dislodged to become a senator. Mao is contesting on the platform of PDP, while Oji Uzokalu is contesting on the platform APC.
Oji Uzokalu kind of strong for APC,
very strong.
On popular party.
He's strong. He's strong. He's experienced. You know, he's a former governor of the state. You know, so he should win, except something extraordinary.
And the next dispensation is looking bright for him.
Yes, he should be able to win.
If he goes back to the Senate.
That contest. Now, going to the governorship, PDP's popular candidate, Professor Uche Ikone, died suddenly, and he had to be replaced by the chief of staff to the governor, Okay Ahiwe. He will battle Ikechi Emenike of APC and Alex Oti of the Labour Party. This is a very, very interesting contest. Labour.
Alex Oti is going to ride on the back of the popularity of.
Yes, it's a possibility because this new person that replaced Professor Ikone is not as popular as the man who died. So this may be Alex Oti's chance. This may be. I'm not prepared to. I'm not prepared to bet on him, but it looks like this could be his chance. You know, in a close contest, it looks like this could be his chance. For the presidency, it is Peter Obi all the way. Peter Obi is very popular in Abia State.
Not even the party of the incumbent governor.
No, it's Peter Obi that will win over there.
The governor is not even contesting. The governor is not campaigning for Atiku Abubakar anyway.
Yes, it's one of the G5 governors. So Nasarawa, the contest in Nasarawa, the primaries of the House of Assembly and other positions in Nasarawa APC were rancorous, and a lot of the members went into SDP. Some went to NNPP. Now, the majority that the APC enjoyed in the House is under threat now because a lot of these strong people have gone to different parties. Talking about the governorship, for the first time, the Egon people who are in the majority in Nasarawa State, that is the majority tribe, where Maku, the former
Labaran Maku, former information minister,
for the first time, they've never produced a governor, and they are the majority tribe in the state. For the first time, they appear to have come together. In the past, you find this person in Nabga, Maku in Nabga, the other person in another party, so their votes will be
limited.
Yes, and they will not be able to win. This time around, it's even Labaran Maku that is the DG of the campaign of the candidate of the PDP. You know? Now, what that means is that the incumbent governor, Abdullahi Sule, has a lot of work to do if he's to retain his position. Honorable Dr. David Ombugadu is the candidate of the PDP. They have the numbers, and that is crucial in a democracy. Yes, they've always been strong. They've always been strong. And the Labour Party doesn't have a strong candidate in this race, which is also an advantage to the to the PDP. Now, the governor has a lot of work to do because these guys have the number. It is a 50-50. I'm not going to stick my neck out. That,
for the governorship.
Yes, because it looks like a 50-50 race. In the presidency, before the presidency, the two Senate positions too are also very contentious. Al-Makura is also struggling,
former governor,
against a candidate from the majority tribe. So Al-Makura has so much work to do if he's to return to the Senate. And his own nephew wants to go to the House of Reps. That has already caused some problem. People are saying, how can the two of you?
Not forgetting that the chairman of APC, Adamu Abdullahi,
yes,
had to in that same Nasarawa.
Yes, the seat that he considered, he has he's already brought someone who is likely to win. Is likely to win. Nasarawa West is also out of the equation for one reason. The votes that the PDP used to get were largely from the Christian bloc and the Igbos. You know the Igbos?
Okay.
The Igbos,
the spillover from Abuja.
Yes, that all this what's this place called? Just on the outskirts, is this Karu area, all those areas, no Karu. And there's a lot of population there. You know, Mararaba, you know, all those areas. Thick Igbo population. They are going to support Labour this time. With the Christians, who are so many in Nasarawa, also supporting Labour. Peter Obi will do quite well in Nasarawa. So it's a tight race in Nasarawa between Peter Obi and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Wow. BK, we have to leave it
I don't want to say this is who will win.
So,
it's a tie. In Nasarawa now.
Nasarawa tie.
But it's a straight battle between Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and
okay, and that's our offering on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcasts tonight at 11 p.m. Join us this Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday between 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Uzubaku. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.
We country people for Naija don't talk say dem no want mago inside the collation of the election results. To make this one happen, INEC don bring wetin dem call the INEC Result Viewing Portal, IREV. See wetin this portal fit do. 1. E go make sure say we country people fit see the result from polling units as the election dey finish for election day. 2. E go make sure say fake news go reduce well. 3. Everything go dey well and mago no go dey at all. To enter the portal where you fit check the results, dey simple like ABC. Make I show you how you fit do am. 1. You go enter internet, go visit inecelectionresults.ng.com. 2. You go click on top create new account and na your Gmail account you go use do this one. 3. From there, you go put all your details for the form where them provide, come sign in. 4. You go come provide your state of origin, come press continue. 5. Then go send you email where you go use take activate your account. 6. The next thing na to copy out the activation code wey dey inside the email wey dem send for you. Na this code you go put for the text box wey dem provide. 7. You go come click activate. 8. Dem go log you inside the portal and na from there you go select the election result wey you wan view. You fit also search for the particular polling unit result wey you wan view if you use the filter button. And kpakam, you go fit monitor the results as e dey comot koro. With this IREV, every Naija person go fit dey part of the election process. Your vote count o, use am well.
The European Union support to democratic governance for Naija na im bring una this message.
Hello Nigerians, my name is Kashim Shetima. I'm the APC Vice Presidential candidate. Here we have 1,776 orphans, vulnerable orphan girls from Northern Borno, all of them victims of Boko Haram. Our house and educated, getting the best that the nation has on offer. Look at this edifice. It's about one of the best schools in the nation. And this has been replicated along the length and breadth of Borno and further sustained by Governor Babagana Umara Sulu. Get us into office. We promise you such edifices will be replicated across the length and breadth of this nation. Vote wisely, vote Bola Tinubu for the presidency of Nigeria come February 25th.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, don't introduce wetin dem call INEC Voters Enrollment Device wey go help INEC to complete voter register through the Continuous Voter Registration (CVR). E go make sure say all the informate wey dem collect from everybody go dey safe for referencing in case person lose im own or damage or spoil im permanent voters card (PVC). Remember, nationwide, or you fit start the registration process online for www.crv.inecnigeria.org. You go fill all the informate for the form, then book appointment to visit any INEC office wey dey near you. Na there you go complete the registration process with IVED. As ogbonge citizens of Nigeria, to make sure say you fit vote during the election, e dey important say you get your PVC o. Dem dey use the IVED collect informate of all we Naija people, from basic informate to fingerprint and facial image, wey dem fit know say na you be the original owner, wey dem fit use identify you for election day. After you don register finish, dem go give you one small slip wey you fit use come back collect your voters card. This IVED na ogbonge device wey dem use to dey do continuous voter registration (CVR). E mean say if you don reach 18 years or you don pass that age and you never register before, shine your eye for when dem dey start this CVR. Make you go register to vote using the IVED. Remember say registration with IVED and to collect your PVC na wetin go show say you fit vote. IVED na system wey you fit trust and e go make sure say every vote count. As better Nigerian, me sef don register and I don collect my PVC. I dey ready to vote.
The European Union support to democratic governance for Naija na im bring on this message.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.